Hello everybody, so in this video I want to show you a quick overview of the Primal The Awakening. I will show you how this game works in a few short steps, so it's not gonna be a long video. So I set up the game for two players. We have Mira and Daeron. Mira, she has a great bow and he got a great sword. They both of them have their starting weapons, and each weapon, as you can see over here, have different level. Over here you can see that's damage that dealt by this weapon, and extra skill written over here, and it actually means if I will play red card I can do volley too. Basic items don't have any extra modifiers, only the health points. So over here we have 8 health points, 5 from basic armor and 3 from basic helmet. So every round of the game is split into the two phases. First phase is monster phase, and in the first monster phase in game ever, he gets 2 tokens which are struggle tokens, and that's it. And how this game actually works. So players will do their turns one after another. So during the players round, the first player is the one who got the aggro token. So let's say Mira is the one who got it, and she will be the first player. Every player starts with 5 cards in hand, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You can of course check them out, and you can discard as many cards as you want and take the exact same amount of cards that you discarded, and shuffle your deck, and you're ready. Let's see what we can find in every deck. Actually, deck is built with 4 with 4 colors. As you can see, we have a blue, we have a red, green and yellow, and so those 4 colors are split into 2 types of cards. So with these symbols we have defensive cards, and with this symbol we have offensive cards. Playing this game is actually doing a sequence of action using your cards. Every card has different icons. Over here is a cost that you have to pay to use that card. Over here, that's a droplet of blood or something. That's the amount of stamina that cards can generate when you want to play the cards. So, for example, if I want to play this card and that card costs 1 stamina, I need to discard, for example, it's 2. So let's say I need to discard this one with 1 droplet, so I can play this first card in my sequence. Oh yeah, and there's one extra symbol over here. The gray one says that when you play that card, you will not take aggro token from other player. The red one means that you will take it. So what do we have here? Red cards. Every red card played in the sequence, first of all, makes a damage equal to the damage of your weapon. So if I would play this card, my great bow would make 2 damage to Viraxen, because that's my opponent. And also I can use the text over here if it fits in a precise moment. This card, the blue one, that is a special card because it's assist card. So I can play that card during the phase of the other player, but I will not say about this right now. I can also play it during my turn, and the blue cards actually, of course, they do the effect what's written on a card, but also blue cards allows you to discard 1 struggle token from Viraxen. And now green and yellow cards, those are the defensive cards. They actually don't have very much impact during the fight. They all of them have different kinds of benefits. Like over here, when you discard fighting edge, so this card from your hand, draw 1 card. So if I will use this card as to play other card in in my sequence, I can take one card to my hand. Or over here, while long range is on top of your discard pile, you cannot suffer damage from attrition. So it's very important in which place you will play your cards during when you're building your sequence. During your turn, you can make a sequence of cards, and it can be only 5 cards in this sequence. So every opponent have own board, like over here, and maybe I will show you. I will take it. So on that enemy board, like over here, we have that table, and that table says how many health points enemy have in every of his 3 stages, depending on how many players are taking part in a game. So in my setup, I need to firstly take 18 damage, then 24, and finally 28 damage, and finally the Viraxen is killed. And also over here we have 3 spaces for behavior cards. Those are these cards with symbols on them. And those cards are actually the AI of the monster. On these cards you have information when each of these cards will be revealed, and it's a reaction to what you are doing. So this card will be revealed if you will play blue card in your sequence. This card will be activated when you will play red card in your sequence. And finally, this card will be activated if you will start your turn on a sector behind the monster. And of course, those cards are different, and there's a few of them in a deck, so they are drawn and discarded and then shuffled again. And let's go to the final elements of the game. So the board over here with the monster in the center and our minis in front of the monster. So on those cards we have that diagram over here, and it shows us in which sectors we can attack and deal a damage, because on the sides there's no red color, so those places are just I don't know what, guarded, but betterly guarded, I don't know what. Actually, you can't do damage when you're on a side of the monster. So on the front or on the back, those are the only 2 places where you can deal damage to Viraxen. And also we have cards like this with extra skill for every monster and for every stage, actually, because as you can see, we for 3rd stage there's different card, and for 2nd stage there's also different card. So on this card, Dreadful Jaws, what it says, when you trigger a behavior card, so those 3 cards over here, players in the front sectors reveal a yellow card from their hand or suffer 1 damage. So if you have a yellow card, you're safe. If not, you have to suffer 1 damage. And there's also final card. I don't know if it's gonna be only 1 for this monster, or it's only 1 for that demo we have. This objective card explains us how to deal a lot of damage to that monster, and it says, let's hit the tail. When player plays a red card attacking from the rear sector, from the back, place a counter on this card. Reaction: once there are 2 per player, so 4 counters on let's hit the tail, this objective card is completely this objective card is complete, and Viraxen suffers 5 damage per player. So in this situation, 10 damage, and it's a lot, but you have to put 4 tokens over here and over there, and I think that's not so easy. And that's all. Players can walk around the Viraxen, it will follow them. And there is a final there's final element in AI of your opponent, and that's that stack of cards. Those cards are called Attrition Cards, and they are drawn at the end of a player's turn when there's a sequence already created. You have to draw 1 card if you are not threatened, so you don't have that token. I will explain later. And if you don't have that token, you have to draw 1 card and compare how many defensive cards you have in your sequence with that number. So if you have at least 2 defensive cards in your sequence, you somehow guarded from attack of the monster and nothing happens. But if you have less than 2 defense cards in your sequence, you have to take a damage equal to the number over here on that card, so it would be 1 damage. Let's start with the first action of the Mirakos. She is the first player because she got that aggro token. So every turn of player is actually divided into 2 steps. First step is a movement step, and second one is actually the moment when you are going to make your sequence. So let's go to the first step. First step, which is actually the movement. You have to pay 1 stamina, normal rules, 1 stamina to make, and then you can move to the adjacent location. So you can only move by 1. And if you are not going to make a move action, and then you have to take this special token. And what are those threatened tokens? So you can get those if you're not doing a movement in your player's turn. So let's go to the player's turn now. So Mira have those cards in her hand. I have 2 cards which are offensive and 3 cards which are defensive, and now I can decide what I want to do. So my first decision must be the movement. I must decide if I want to move or not, and I don't want to because we are going to attack the Viraxen, and I can only attack it from the front or from the back, so I will stay it over here and attack it. Maybe that's not a good idea, but I just want to show you how this game works. And I want to play this card. It's a red card, attack card. The cost of this card is 0, so I don't have to spend on any other card with those blood droplets to play it in my sequence. So I'm playing this first card, red card, in my sequence. It costs 0, so it's for free, and that card says that the description means reaction, so I could use this as a reaction to something. I don't want to. I just want to make damage. So red cards allow me to do damage equal to the power of my weapon. So my weapon power is 2, so I'm doing 2 damage to Viraxen. And now I need to check if, maybe I will put it over here, and now I need to check if any AI cards are fitting to what I've done. So yeah, unfortunately, yes, I've played a red card, so now I need to take that his behavior card with a red symbol and check it. What do we have here? The active player suffers 1 damage unless they have a yellow card in their sequence, and that 1 damage will be actually 2 damage if Viraxen have any struggle tokens. I mean 1 struggle token, and unfortunately there are 2 struggle tokens. So and let's see if I have any. I have only 1. In the sequence. Oh, damn it, I don't have anything in my sequence. So unfortunately I have to spend 1 struggle token and take 2 damage from Viraxen. Yes, so I'm taking 2 damage. That's a bad idea. And another card appears in a sequence as a behavior card available. Now I have those cards, and maybe now I will use my special action from my weapon, and that action says if I have red card in my sequence, I can volley 2. Volley 2 means I have to discard 2 top cards from my deck, and if those cards are red cards, I can damage make a damage for each of those cards. So unfortunately, first one is blue, so nothing, and second one is green, nothing. Great. I want to play this card. Playing this card in my sequence costs me 1 stamina, and that card would actually, if I would play this card, I have to take that struggle token, but I already have it, so whatever. So I'm playing rapid fire. That's the blue card. So that blue card allows me to discard 1 struggle token from my opponent. So I'm doing this, and I have to discard a card with 1 droplet of blood. So let's say I would. I don't know, discard this one. And what next? That card allows me also to volley 1, so I'm doing this, nothing. And that second card I played is a blue card, so another card from a behavior card is activated. And what do we have here? If the active player is in a flank sector, I am not, and they have no defensive cards in their sequence, they suffer 1 damage. I am not in a flank, so I am happy, and Veraxen don't have any struggle token, so actually I don't have to read the bottom, and another card is added over here. And finally, I have those 2 cards, and I want to play this card in my sequence, paying this one for playing that long range. And now I can show you my sequence. That's the first card, that's the second card, and that's the final card. So 2 offensive cards and 1 defensive. And now there's a attrition deck. And there's attrition deck. I need to shuffle it because I didn't prepare it correctly. Right, so that's attrition deck. And at the end of player's round, I need to take 1 card from attrition deck if I moved, but I didn't. So I am actually I should have that threatened token, and that threatened token means that I need to take 2 cards and pick the worst one for me. And that's the worst situation for me, because I have only 1 defensive card in my sequence, not 2, so I am going to suffer a damage equal to the number over here, and that's another 1 damage to Mira. And now I can discard my cards in the order I played them. So that's the first one, second, and third. And this card is on the top. So this card is on the top of my deck. And what it says: while long range, so this card is on top of your discard pile, you cannot suffer damage from attrition. So from that last phase, when I actually got that 1 damage. So this card is now on top of my pile, so I am safe in the future turn, and I will not take any damage during attrition phase. So that's good idea for good information for me. I can focus on attacking in next round. So now I have to take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cards to my hand. Those are my new cards, and the opponent should turn to me, so we could face each other, but I am still standing in the same spot, so he will not turn. So now is Daeron phase, and Daeron is in front of the Veraxen, so he needs to unfortunately go with the first card, because this symbol says if player starts in a sector in front of the opponent, you need to read this card. And what this card says: Veraxen gains 4 struggle tokens. Veraxen gains attrition damage +1 until end of the round. So here goes 4 struggle tokens to Veraxen. And also the Veraxen gains attrition damage +1 until the end of the round. So that means I'm adding that extra token to Attrition Deck. Right, so now the Daeron. He will not... I don't want to move. I want to show you something different this time. I want to play this card firstly. And it's what it says. Reactive guard. If this card is before red cards, you see, if this card is before red cards, deal 2 additional damage and do times level of your weapon. And unfortunately in the beginning my level of my weapon is 1, so I will do just 2 damage, but if I would have more advanced weapon, that it could be more. So I'm playing this card in my sequence. That's gonna be my first card, and it costs me 1. So I'm gonna, let's say, pay using this card. And that's it. I mean, that nothing happens. Now I want to... oh, damn it. And now I would like to play this card. And this card costs me 3 stamina. And this card says, if this card is played after the offensive card, Unfortunately, my first card is not offensive, but it's a red card, and that's important for me. But if the first card before this card would be also offensive card, that card would inflict vulnerable to my opponent. But that's not gonna happen. I want to play this one in my sequence, and I'm paying 3 for this card. So I'm discarding those 2 cards, and now I can show you my sequence. It's like this. And what do we have here? I'm doing damage from my red card, and the damage from my weapon is 3. So Viraxen takes 3 damage. So I'm gonna add 3 damage. And then I am actually using this action also. So I can deal 2 damage, because this card is before red card in my sequence. So I can also add 2 extra damage to Viraxen. And now you see my second card is red card. So again I need to play one of those cards with a red symbol, because that's the reaction that I played red card. That says Viraxen immediately turns to the active player, so nothing happens. Place 1 fire terrain in front sector. So I'm adding fire over here, and also extra action, because unfortunately again Viraxen have 4 struggle tokens, so he can use this special ability below, and it says the active player suffers 1 fire damage unless they have green in their sequence. No, I don't have green in my sequence, and I have to take 1 fire damage from Viraxen, so it's just simply 1 damage from Viraxen. Some of the armors and helmets can give you protection from different elements, or can be weak against the different elements, and that's basically if you have strong protection for the fire, for example, you have +1 defense. So in this situation I wouldn't take any damage, because that's 1 damage versus +1 protection from my helmet if I would have it. So that's the end of Daeron turn, and now again he needs to take 2 cards from Attrition Deck, and again take 2 cards because he didn't move. So Daeron have those 2 cards. 2 is the worst one, so and he fails, and he would take 1 damage. Yes, but the previous card from behavior deck said that the damage from attrition phase is +1, so actually it's 2 damage, not 1, so another 2 damage goes to Daeron. And that's it. Daeron can discard his deck in a way that he played it, so first card, second card on top, and now he can take again 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cards. And Viraxen should turn to face him, but he's actually facing him, so nothing's gonna happen. And what is important, that Daeron didn't play any card with green symbol over here, with a red symbol over here. So he's not taking aggro token from Mira, and Mira will be first player again. And that's the end of the first round of the game, and now we are going to the enemy phase. And again, enemy takes 1 struggle token for every hero in a game, so in this situation 2 struggle tokens, and we have to exchange 1 card from these to another card in from the deck. And we are going to replace the card with the lowest number over here. That card have the lowest number is 3, so I'm discarding it and adding another card with 7. And that's the end of the monster phase. And again we are going back to players. Mira is first player because she have struggle token and 5 cards again. I also should flip this token on the other side, and this token says that we can't play any cards if we are standing in a location with the fire, so I have to move. So I'm spending this card to move over here, and now I can do a sequence, but it's not gonna be very useful in any way, because Veraxen can be attacked only from front or from the back. So let's say I will just, skip it, do nothing, or maybe, I will play some, I will play those 2 cards to protect myself. So those 2 cards are in my sequence, green and yellow, no green and yellow over here, so nothing happens, and now we have attrition phase. I moved, so I am taking only 1 card, and it's 3. So again, it's I failed this test, and I'm taking 1 extra damage from Veraxen. And that's it. I can discard my cards again like this. I'm taking 5 new, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And Veraxen is turning to the player with aggro token. That's Veraxen, so he goes like this. And now we are going to Daeron. Those are the cards from Daeron. He also needs to move, so I'm spending this card to move over here. And now Daeron is behind the Veraxen, so now he can do damage. Well, I don't know, let's say I will attack him again, so that's 4. That's 4, so I have to spend actually all those 3 cards to play only this 1 card. And I'm making him again 3 damage over there. And what else? I am taking the aggro token from Mira, because I played card with red symbol over here. And unfortunately for Daeron, the AI of Veraxen is activated because there's a red symbol over here, and Daeron played red card. And what this says: the active player suffers 1 damage unless they have yellow in their sequence. No, I don't have it. So, and again, bonus damage +1, because for 1 struggle token, there is a struggle token, so Daeron takes 2 damage from Veraxen. And the final card goes over here. And that's it. Now, attrition phase. Attrition phase, Daeron moved, so he takes only 1 card, that's 2. I don't have any defensive cards in my sequence, so I need to take another 1 damage from my opponent. Now Daeron discards all his cards. Veraxen turns to his side because he now have the aggro token, and Daeron takes again 5 cards to his hand, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and that's it. That's the final end of this round. And what's gonna happen now is this card is activated at the end of the round phase, so we have to read it. And what it says: the player in front sector immediately moves or they suffers 1 damage. Veraxen turns to the player with less of defensive cards in hand. The request movement must be played with a 2 droplets of blood card if he will pay 1 struggle token, and of course he will, because there is a lot of struggle tokens over here. So the player in front sector, so Daeron, needs to play a card with 2 droplets. That's the only card in his hand, so he have to pay it to move it, let's say, over here, and thanks to that he's safe. A second thing, Veraxen turns to the player with less defensive cards in hand, so Mira have only 1, so I think Daeron have more than Mira, so Veraxen turns to her side. And that's the end of this card, and unfortunately that card says that this card is activated if any card was activated previously. That's just always the second card after activated card. So I have to do this also. Place a fire terrain in the front sector. So fire is over here, Mira is on a fire, the bushes over here are removed because they are in a fire, and what else is going on. And for the 2 struggle tokens, players in the front sector discard a green from their hand or suffer 1 fire damage. Mira, no green in her hand, so she can't discard anything, so she will take 1 damage, fire damage. Again, I don't have any protection from fire, so it doesn't matter what kind of damage it is. Now, that's the end of the second round of the game, and we're going to the third one. Now we're starting this third round, and again the monster phase. We depleted whole deck of reaction cards, so we have to shuffle the discarded one. And when when that happens, Viraxen or any other opponent takes 1 additional struggle token. So in this situation, it's gonna be 3 tokens. 2 cards over here, and we can go to. We have to discard the lowest one. And now we can go to the again players round, starting with Daeron, cause he got the aggro token, which is over here. And that's it. I'm not gonna show you whole game. I just wanted to show you the mechanics of it. I hope that was helpful, and I cleared you a little bit how this game works. That's a very tactical game. Every movement counts, and the way I was playing, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's 7 damage, and we are actually in a third round, so there's no way I'm gonna kill it in this way. I need to think, I need to plan, I need to decide what I'm doing. I don't have time. I don't want to do this right now because that would take too much time, and the film and this video would be too long. Also, I have something like this. That's the item that I can consume in a monster phase that will allow me to heal myself, so I'm not so in a bad situation. There are also 2 herbs on the board. One of them heals 1 damage at the start of player's round, and second one adds, I think, 1 extra damage. So there's a way of healing yourself during the game, but you have to stay in 1 precise sector if you want to heal by 1. And that's it. That was the battle with Viraxen, battle which would end very badly for my heroes for sure. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you like it. I can say that Primal The Awakening is a very difficult game, very tactical one, and playing as I played is the best way to fail. Thank you so much again, and see you in the next one.